Hi everyone, it's Az here from HeelvsBabyface. Star Trek Lower Decks. It's a laugh a minute. It's not. The first episode, I didn't laugh once. I found it grossly unfunny. The characters complete and utterly unlikable. I felt that it actually mocked Star Trek. It wasn't satirical. It wasn't kind of taking those foibles which, sci-fi has or fandom has, or in this case, very specifically, Star Trek has, and sort of played with it to a funny extent. No, it just seemingly was made by people that either don't care or don't know anything about Star Trek, and its target audience appeared to be people that hated Star Trek. I think that was pretty much the title of my review for episode 1. There was no review for episode 2. If you follow me on the twats, I actually tweeted out I could not finish the second episode. Now, as many of you will know, I've been through hell with certain TV programs. I watched the whole of Batwoman season 1. And the difference between this, let's say, and Batwoman is, with Batwoman, I didn't really care, I like Batman. Batman is kind of like my thing, and it's immediate surrounding family. And I'd say immediate surrounding family would be Nightwing, Robin, Catwoman. Kind of very close-knit. Maybe a little bit of Batgirl thrown in there as well. But Batwoman, no, they brought her back towards the end of the noughties and brought back with a very specific agenda. She was fine for the most part until, they made her insufferable in the TV show. And so I could disassociate that from Batman because it was just an absolute disaster of a show. It was put out with one purpose and one purpose only. They had no respect for the source material. Stop me if this sounds familiar, by the way. They had no respect for the characters. They had no respect for the stories. They were very open with their propagandist behaviour. Shall we just put it that way? And when that is the motivation for your show, unsurprisingly, it comes out as trash. A mitigated trash. Star Trek, however, I care deeply for. It's a show that I grew up with. Star Trek The Next Generation, to me, is the greatest show of all time. Probably with The Prisoner very closely second. But I've, also when I was a kid, before that even came out, watched the original series, the multitude of reruns which they would have. And then, that moved on to DS9, Voyager, a little bit of Enterprise. I managed to get through the first 2 seasons, and then few years back, 4 or 5 years ago, I actually managed to go through all 4. And it started actually picking up in season 3. It was a shame it kind of ended when it did. But Kurtzman run Trek has been nothing short of pathetic, a shit show, disrespectful, pandering. They don't understand what Star Trek is. They think it's as he admitted in the recent San Diego Comic-Con, it's not about Star Trek anymore. This is what Kurtzman said. It's not about Star Trek. It's using the platform to preach, to push activism. So fuck Kurtzman and fuck everyone involved with him. But Lower Decks is meant to be the comedy show. It's meant to be the one which we probably like the most because it's set during the timeline of Next Gen, etc. A little bit after that. And it's dog shit. Is the only way that I can describe it. And in the second episode, I got, I think, 6.5 minutes in, and then I was like, no, I'm out. I'm out with the insufferable bitch of a main character. Just insufferable. And then I came back about half an hour later and was like, come on, Let's try and get through to the end. And I think I made another minute and a half, maybe 2 minutes. Got to, let's just say, 8.5 minutes. And I was like, fuck this. I'm out. I'm done. I'm completely done. There's nothing more of this show I want to see. It's pathetic. It's absolutely pathetic beyond compare. It's an insult to anyone that has loved Star Trek. It's actually an insult to comedy as well. I don't understand what is the purpose of the show. I have no idea how on earth it got greenlit when they saw the pilot. Needless to say, we all know about the fact that it's had problems with international distribution. When you have a show that has the Star Trek brand and you can't get international distribution other than Canada, you know that it's probably a massive turd. And one of the reasons, of course, which people would avoid it like the plague is because of the track record of Kurtzman Trek. Discovery is bullshit. It's anti-Star Trek. It's everything that Star Trek stands against. Everything Roddenberry stood against. It's here in spades. And Picard, well, Picard was a complete shit show. The Jean-Luc Picard Apology Tour, year 2387 or whenever it is, I don't know. Absolutely pathetic show. I gave up after 7 episodes. After they tricked me in the first episode with all the member berries. And then from episode 2 onwards, it was pretty obvious that this was just a waste of my time. Well, I say we because a few of us, we've been contacted by somebody who wishes their anonymity to remain preserved. And they have provided us with some statistics for how viewing figures have gone in Canada. Now, I've tried to get a second source to verify this. I haven't had any luck in finding one so far. So I will preface this by saying, please take this with a pinch of salt, because I can't get 2 verifications, just one. But when Star Trek Lower Decks debuted in Canada, it got 404,000. That's what its debut audience was. Now, demographically, 18 to 49, which is the advertisers' demo. This is the important one. This is where advertisers can sell you stuff. They got 143,000 people. 151,000 was 50 plus. And then the others are obviously distributed throughout the others. Now, the 50 plus demo is your non-advertising demo. It's kind of like your dead demo, in other words. And the audience split male to female, about 55-45 male to female, which is actually quite surprising that it was so tight. However, I mean, that's not great. I mean, I wouldn't say that's great, but I don't have anything to really offshoot that, because I don't particularly know Canadian television. It's not like British TV or American TV where I could probably get a good gauge. But episode 2, well, that just tells a completely different story. Episode 2, it goes down to 219,000. Now, that's a drop-off of 46%. The 18 to 49 demo now is 81k, which is down by 43%. And that's your advertisers' demographic. That's the hard one to swallow. Because if advertisers see that sort of stuff, the 50 plus was at 126k, only dropped a little bit, which says everything. And then the male to female split was actually quite drastic. It went to 137k to 82k. So suddenly that sort of 55, 45 suddenly creeps up to like 60 something to 30 something with women. 37% of the male audience was lost from episode 1 to 2, and 56% of the female audience was lost from episodes 1 to 2, according to these statistics. Now then, because I've said take it with a pinch of salt, because I can't get a second verification for this, what I will say is, if this isn't the case, if they want to prove us wrong, all they have to do is release the viewing figures with the demographic breakdowns. That's all you have to do to prove us wrong. It's a very simple thing to do. And I don't know how the demographic and the viewing system works in Canada, but it's something that I'm going to start to take a little bit of an interest in and look into as regards to these sort of figures. But it certainly looks like the show has it's lost half of its audience from episode 1 to 2. You can understand losing a percentage, a percentage, as there is always going to be a curiosity factor watching the first episode of pretty much anything, regardless of whether it's good or bad. But 46% loss to me says everything about the show. It says that this show is trash, this show is tat, and if this is the same, if this is mirrored on CBS All Access, if this is the way that things are going, then that means CBS All Access have lost 50% of their viewing audience of this show from episode 1 to 2. Oh, that's a good one, because we know that they're not going to release the viewing figures. And again, if you want to prove us wrong, all you have to do is do that. It's very simple. Release your figures. Something tells me they won't. Just a hunch that I've got. So Star Trek Lower Decks seems doomed. But there again, I have no idea who the fuck it's made for. Hope you enjoyed the vid. If you did, do get a thumbs up and also subscribe to the channel. Follow me on social media and YouTube for live streaming. Links are in the description box down below, and I'll be back with some more stuff very soon. You take care. Bye for now.